Hyperdrive now. 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 Hyper drive 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 now. Hyperdrive now.
We are racing for the planet. At extreme locations. Where equality is true and a legacy is left. We pioneer new technologies and we push them to the limit.
Extreme E is back for 2024 with the toughest off-road racing on the planet, starting here at the Desert X-Prix in Saudi Arabia.
This year sees a grid packed full of racing stars with one female and one male driver per team going wheel to wheel in some of the most spectacular locations around the globe.
But this is more than just racing. This is racing for a better future. The all-electric Odyssey cars are now in their 4th season, and so far we've travelled from the ice sheets of Greenland to the deserts of Chile, shining a spotlight on the environmental issues facing the planet.
Finding solutions is a founding principle of Extreme E. The paddock is a hotbed of technical innovation, and the science committee, comprised of leading experts, pioneer the legacy programme to leave a lasting difference.
I'm Jenny Gow, and alongside me is Andrew Coley, with Laura Winter reporting from the paddock.
Here we go then, season 4, and we start in our traditional home of the start of the season, Saudi Arabia. We've moved location, we're in Jeddah. Sand and rocks is the terrain. Very much looking forward to seeing what we've got in store for this season. And Jenny, we're looking forward to seeing what's in store for TBC rounds 3 and 4.
Yeah, we know it'll be in July, but we'll keep it up our sleeves as to exactly where it'll be. It's a bit of a mystery round at the moment for you, but not a mystery is the next location.
Yeah, Sardinia is somewhere we've been a lot. It's somewhere where Rosberg X-Racing has won a lot. It's quite confusing because we've had double headers there. So there, look, they won 4 out of the first 5. We think that's on the first visit. On the second visit, I think they won 3 out of the 5. So what's that, Jenny? 7 out of 10?
I'll leave the math to you at this time of the morning, but yeah, something like that. Wildfires is the subject in that, and then we go across to the USA for the first time. We'll go to Phoenix, Arizona, and we cannot wait for that at the end of November.
There we are. Here is the backdrop then for our first couple of rounds here in Saudi Arabia, rounds 1 and 2. Double headers again this season, remember, 10 rounds, 2 at each of the venues we visit. 2 qualifying sessions, which takes us through then to 2 finals. You either make the grand final or you make it through to the redemption race. Slight changes in points and everything else to do with the series this year, but we'll bring you up to speed as we get ourselves going. It's very early here in London, pretty early in Saudi Arabia.
Tell you what, I cannot wait for this season. There's so much drama, there's so much to talk about, because we've got a change of lineup, we've got a change of drivers, we've got 8 teams to compete this year.
It's all changed for season 4 of Extreme E, with new driver pairings and 2 brand new teams. And where better to start than with our reigning champions, Rosberg X-Racing. Up on 2 wheels, Johan Christophersen saved the biggest roll there.
Michaela Arling-Kotelinski and Johan Christophersen are back for another year to defend their crown. 2 championship titles for RXR since the beginning of the series, but will they continue to dominate?
Their biggest rivals in 2023 were Acciona Sainz, with 4-time Dakar winner Carlos Sainz heading up the team. Laia Sanz is back, looking for redemption after coming so close to winning the title last season, and bringing new energy to the team is rapid Jamaican Fraser McConnell.
Also shaking up their squad is Neon McLaren. Season 2 champion and Dakar winner Cristina Gutierrez is paired with a man who's won nearly everything, Matthias Ekstrom. They'll be a big threat this year.
A brand new all-American team joins the Extreme E lineup, Legacy Motor Club, headed up by 7-time NASCAR champion Jimmy Johnson. Rallycross and freestyle motocross legend, 11-time X Games gold medalist Travis Pastrana will take to the track this weekend, and 19-year-old off-road specialist Gray Ledbetter will be his teammate. They are sure to want to put on a show.
And there's another new team to the championship, but this time with familiar faces to the Extreme E paddock. Timo Scheider and Clara Anderson join forces to make a new team, Sun Mini Meals, both eager to start the season on a high note.
Veloce Racing is back and retains the same driver lineup, Kevin Hansen and Season 1 champion Molly Taylor. They had an incredible season last year, winning the last round in Chile and finishing third overall in the standings. A strong pairing that will no doubt be fighting for victory right from the start.
Andretti Autoquilettes are also back with the same squad. They're the only team to have kept their original driver pairing of Katie Munnings and Timmy Hansen since the first ever Extreme E event. This year they will want to get back to winning ways and fight for the championship.
And last up, JBXE, owned by F1 World Champion Jenson Button. They keep rallycross specialist Andreas Backerud, who'll team up with a new driver to the Extreme E paddock, Dania Akil. She has plenty of experience driving in the desert and is the first ever Saudi driver to enter the championship. A fantastic lineup that will make Season 4 a year to remember before the new Extreme H Series kicks off in 2025.
See, told you, it's going to be good. Look at the names that are here for this round of Extreme E and the championship.
Look at the RC car racing track down in the paddock, Jenny. That's what I've got one eye on. But
do you know what? My daughter's done that. She loved it.
Oh, brilliant! Bring your daughter RC car racing. Let's go. We're going full-size car racing very soon indeed. Last year's champions, of course, were RXR. Second title for Kristoffersson, but a first one for Arlen Kotlinski.
I am just so happy. I mean, when I crossed the finish line, I did start to cry. Because from last year, so close to winning, and then this year coming in with a win yesterday, and then seeing that start with a puncture, just like, never give up.
After seeing Michaela so disappointed last year in Uruguay, it's so nice to see Michaela this happy now when we won the championship this year.
Starting in Saudi Arabia with that bit of miscommunication, heading too quick into the slow zone and losing that win, but in the end, 2 P3, so it felt like it was a good start to the season. Scotland was a low for both of us. It was so needed, that double win in Sardinia. Yes! That's where we felt that we could be close to winning the championship.
Yeah, it was super motivating for the team to have a victory on Saturday in Sardinia. It was our first win since Sardinia 2022. And then we also won on the Sunday, which of course, you know, put us right up there behind Acciona. So that was a little bit of a turning point for us in the championship.
It was super sweet in Sardinia to take the double win. It was super sweet yesterday as well. We knew though it was all open to play for today.
Up on 2 wheels, the RXR!
I hit the rut at the same time as I was a bit too close to the bank. And then it just sent the car into a massive two-wheel moment. Super happy to be able to actually catch that, because I thought now I'm going over. Now I'm gonna do my second goal of my life since the first one I did in Scotland this year. So managed to get the car back on all 4. And I picked up my second puncture of Extreme E. And then, yeah, we did a tire change. I went out. I felt that there was still something wrong with the car. Got the car back to Michaela.
As I was driving out, I saw that Laia spun, but then I didn't see the roll. And then they told me just to keep on going slowly. So it wasn't the fastest final laps in my career in Extreme E. But, you know, in the end, that is what gave us the championship win. I think it's so important to celebrate when you have these highs, because last year it was really, really tough when we were close to winning the championship and we had such a good position ahead of the last race. And then this season, always fighting with it's been a really close season with all the other teams and drivers, and then taking this win. I'm just very proud of everyone working so hard, and like you see, even though we have downs, everyone is always staying positive and always doing our best. And even now in the final, we had a puncture, just head out there, try to do a quick tire change, and yeah, it feels like a family.
I'm maybe not the person that showed the most emotions, but of course I'm super happy to win the championship.
we are definitely going to celebrate. I am definitely going to celebrate because this is my first ever championship win, but I definitely want to win it again.
Extreme E is deeply saddened by the death of championship co-founder and racing icon Gilles de Ferran.
The two-time kart IndyCar Series champion and winner of the 2003 Indianapolis 500 was also jointly responsible for the launch of the pioneering Extreme E Championship. He's survived by his wife, Angela, daughter, Anna, and son, Luke. The Extreme E team extends its support and condolences to the de Ferran family and his loved ones.
You know, Gilles de Ferran was a great friend. Him and I remember breakfast in my house in London. We came up with the concept of Extreme E. He was the one who gave me the idea to go to remote locations, and he was a great hero of motorsport.
Longtime friend, a racer, one of the most humble people I've ever met, given his level of accomplishments. He was a very valued member of our racing team, of the racing community, a great personal friend who I'd known for 20 plus years. Very sad, but his family wishes that we celebrate. And so we're going to do that together and hopefully in victory lane, because that's the game plan.
Gilles was an incredible individual and unique in being a race car driver, that his skills and his talents passed beyond just driving cars, team ownership, team management and so on. It was a great source of advice and a good sounding board for me as well, and we would bounce ideas backwards and forwards. So big loss to motorsport and motor racing fans the world over, and to me personally, of course.
He was such a huge part of the McLaren family, of course. And the one thing that really struck me at the time was the fact that although I've been involved in motorsport for a relatively short period of time and he's really reached hero status, I think it was incredible that he just treated everybody as an equal, always willing to share his knowledge, his expertise, and his passion for motorsport. Gilles was truly a racer, but also a gentleman.
More than that, he was an amazing human being. We spent so much time right here where we are now in the Santa Elena. I mean, you know, I cannot talk more because I would cry, but you know, we miss you, Gilles.
Yes, all of our thoughts, all of the drivers, the whole Extreme E paddock are thinking of the de Ferran family at this time. He was a huge part, of course, of Extreme E as co-founder and a huge part of the wider racing community as well, not least McLaren family too. And now two new drivers for McLaren standing alongside me, Matthias and Christina, both looking good in Papaya. Matthias, how much are you looking forward to this season, getting stuck back in out there?
It's always nice to start a new season, especially with a new team like the Neo McLaren team. Papaya, I have to say, last year I saw it and I thought, oh, it's pretty cool. You know, everybody know Orlando and the F1 boys, but you know, now getting to know my good old friend Gary in the Neo McLaren team, it's like having your former biggest rival as your team boss is pretty fun.
I love it. And Christina, one of just a handful of women in history who have worn Papaya under McLaren. How much does this mean to you?
Well, it's a pleasure to be in this big team. Neo McLaren is one of the biggest achievements of my career, and I'm very happy to join the Papaya team. And also with Matthias, I think he's one of the best, so I'm very happy.
Talk me through this dynamic, dynamite duo. I'm excited to see what you guys can do out here.
Yeah, we are having our first try today, so we had some winter training, and yeah, we are super excited. And as I said, Christina and we get good long so far, so trying to improve our work with the team as quick as we can to be competitive, hopefully already on the first weekend.
We shall see. Thank you both so much. Good luck this weekend. As we approach the start of the season, the Extreme E community attended an Innovation for Impact forum. The Extreme E Legacy programme leaves a lasting impact at each race location and beyond, finding solutions to specific regional problems. Extreme E partner Vodafone Business has been a key contributor, supplying technologies and conducting research to make a lasting difference. A highlight at the forum, hosted by Vodafone Business, was a driver panel including Kevin Hansen, who has announced he'll be back for season 4.
So super excited today to, announce our continuing with lottery racing and with Molly. We came so close to the title last year, but just fell short. But we got 3 race wins and we progressed so much during the year and really learned a lot about ourselves and how we can perform well. So to continue was really a no-brainer for us.
It's all about sustainable innovation here. It's all about how businesses can learn working with Vodafone Business and Extreme E to reduce their carbon footprints, to reduce their emissions.
Our discussion is going to be centered mostly around how science can influence and impact sustainability and vice versa. In the mix, there's always technology that has, an impact on science. And obviously for a purpose-driven championship like Extreme E, it's going to be fascinating to see how we can use the track-to-road innovation to push sustainability and how sustainability is pushing the championship to be advancing technology and innovation as such.
When you think about when trying to have a positive impact, partnership is key to everything. With Vodafone being our technology partner, it's so key for us to understand how they want to implement their technology into ours. And we also want to see how we can push the boundaries of creating positive impact through sport and having a partner like Vodafone who not just looks after sport, but so many other industries, and the knowledge that they get from there and apply here is invaluable for us.
So fundamentally, we do 2 things to support Extreme E. One is to help them go racing in remote parts of the world to raise issues on climate change. And the second thing is support their legacy projects, which are all about leaving a positive impact through projects in places which they race. In Sardinia, we've worked with Extreme E, Medsea, and also a Vodafone partner called Dryad to implement IoT sensors which do early detection of forest fires. For the Extreme E Legacy project in Scotland, Vodafone have put in IoT-connected water quality buoys to help monitor the salmon populations in the area.
It's super important to have great partners in a series like this where we're trying to push every aspect of sustainability, equality, engagement. It's such an important widespread, so we need to have the big stakeholders with us sharing the vision of Extreme E.
Ion Veloce standing alongside me now. Last season, they picked up 3 wins and 3rd in the championship. The duo has remained the same for season 4. Kevin, what can we expect from you guys this season, given how well you finished the last?
Winning the title. I mean, that's what we're going for. That's where we should have been able to do that last year. We had a bit of a hiccup in Sardinia, but we know our speed, so we're going to try and keep working on our good things and improve the down moments. But we're really looking forward to season 4. We got a great new title partner with Ion coming on board, and we are really hungry for this championship win.
Who are the big rivals then? Who are you looking out for in this paddock?
I think we know in Extreme E anything can happen, and there's a whole lot of competitive teams up and down the field, so I don't think it's a case of just one team in particular. I think everyone on a good day can be really quick, but our plan is to be faster.
That was so diplomatic, Molly. Kevin, will you name any names?
Well, I think, we have a double championship team. RXR is going to be super quick, Science for sure, and but the Veloci team, we're gonna try and beat them all.
He's going to list all the teams.
Yeah, just list all of them. It's going to be like Molly said. Everybody is super hungry and have a great team behind them. So it's going to be super tough, and especially on this course as well. It's very wide, very soft, it's very bumpy, so it's going to be a lot of carnage out there. So you got to keep your nose clean and get to the end of the day.
Molly, where are the advantages to be picked up on out there?
Yeah, I think as Kevin said, the track is so wide, it's got so many different features, so really there's opportunities probably in more places than any other track that we've seen. Dust, I think, will be an issue in some sectors, but then other sectors it'll be completely fine. But then there's a track evolution, and the ruts and the lines you take become really important, and then they also change throughout the session too. So yeah, there's lots of opportunities in a lot of places, and as Kevin said, it's going to be pretty wild, I think.
Oh, it's going to be fascinating. I can't wait. Thank you both so much. Best of luck to you. Well, our first race of Extreme E Season 4 is coming up very soon. These guys are in it.
Extreme E is a fully electric off-road racing championship consisting of 8 world-class teams made up of 1 male and 1 female driver. In each session, both drivers will compete behind the wheel of the Odyssey 21 electric SUV, with a driver changeover, the switch, halfway through. Each driver gets an Innova Hyperdrive boost in every session, and there are bonus points for the fastest team through the Continental Traction Challenge part of the course. First up, it's qualifying, where everybody races twice in a bid to finish as high as possible in the qualifying standings. Then it's time to earn some championship points. From qualifying, the bottom 4 teams go into the redemption race, while the top 4 proceed to the grand final and compete to win the X-Prix and lift the trophy. Yes! It's a season-long battle. 10 rounds, 1 champion.
And the question is, who will be our champion this season? There's so many to pick from. If you look down the list of teams, the drivers, there's some really exciting people in here.
You can use that QR code on your screen if you want to find out a little bit more about the series. That'll take you some various different links. We're going to be going racing very soon indeed. Looking forward to that.
Time to hear now from Extreme E founder Alejandro Agag. It's going to be an incredible season, but lots to look forward to in the electric motorsport field.
Extreme E Season 4 is starting in Saudi in a new location, so that's the first thing that is new, near Jeddah in the desert. Jeddah is an amazing location. It's the home of Formula 1 in Saudi, but it's also, a location by the Red Sea with a lot of possibilities also for our legacy, for the coral restoration, for the sea and the marine life. We started E1 here. We've been working on E1 on the project for almost 2.5 years. And finally we came here, we put those boats on the water, and it was incredible. The show was amazing. Tom Brady won the first race, congratulations to the team. But Rafa Nadal is super strong, Mark Anthony is super strong. All the teams are really, really fighting, and I think E1 is off to a great start. Formula E on its 10th year, who would have told me? When we started, we didn't know if we were going to make it the second race, even the third race. We were just like running from one city to the other to try to continue making Formula E. Now, after 10 years, Formula E is a very, very strong championship, consolidated all over the world. We started in Saudi with a huge race, and we continue. Formula E is here for the long term. Extreme E started also here in Saudi, and 3 years ago, it was a difficult start, COVID, the cars were untested. We almost went with an experiment. It's great to see it where it is. We have new teams. We have Jimmy Johnson coming on board, the team's son coming on board, and Travis Pastrana coming to drive, which is going to be super exciting. This is a kind of transition season towards the hydrogen. Basically, Extreme H. We're starting from a blank sheet of paper for the hydrogen roadmap. We're going to start with fuel cells, because fuel cell is the technology that works today. But we're open also to hydrogen combustion. That could be a very exciting technology for the future of motor racing, and Extreme H becomes the test bed for all those technologies around hydrogen.
We have a new team on the block. We have a couple of new teams, but one is standing right next to me. That is Sun Minimil. Am I saying that correctly? I've got the right pronunciation.
Yes, you have.
A new driver dynamic, a new driver duo here as well, Clara and Timo. I feel there's a good chemistry between you guys already on the grid, but how is this going, Clara?
It's going super well. I've known Timo for a couple of years now, and it's really exciting to race alongside him and to join the Sun Minimal team. It's a lot of excitement within the group, and I feel so ready to go out this weekend and have some fun.
And Timo, talk me through your role, not just a driver within this team, are you?
Well, that's pretty new for me now. So I'm on one side the driver, on the other side I'm the team principal. So I actually have had a couple of hard weeks now. So I had to see it from the other perspective, which is cool because now I'm really involved in all the details. And I'm quite proud to set up this Sunny Mini Meal team with Clara on my side. And it's just a super great atmosphere we have. So it's time to go out there and show off.
What are the big aims for the season?
Well, we try to surprise, let's call it this way. So I think we're a new combination of people running the team now, and all our experience, all our people from off-roading, Dakar, Rallycross, or Extreme E. So I think we have the ingredients to do well. So let's see where we end up, but I think we can aim high because we have the potential.
Clara, what do you make of the course?
Oh wow, it's spectacular. I love it. I think it's really fun to drive, and I think it will be really interesting to see now 4 cars battling it out. We are in Q1, so we will be the first ones out there, but it's really cool. I love it.
Great stuff. Thank you both so much. Welcome to the new team. I know the same drivers, but great to see you two together. I'm excited to see how this dynamic works. Thanks both so much. Good luck to you. Well, this is it. The first race of Extreme E Season 4 starts right here.
Here we go then. Time to go racing. Season 4 of Extreme E kicks off in just about 4 and a bit minutes time. We're going to be sending the cars off into our first track of the season. Another brand new track back to Saudi Arabia, as you say, but new layout, new venue. Drivers saying there's tons of opportunities to overtake. We're excited to see where those are. I love the way they're like, yeah, there are opportunities, but they won't say exactly where any of those opportunities are.
No, I think because the competition is so heated this year and there's so many people challenging potentially, they're not willing to give away any of their secrets. Poor Laura, she went into the paddock yesterday to try and talk to people and find out things. Nope. No go zone.
Yeah,
they were all keeping it close to their chest.
All sitting watching onboards very intently. Those first 2 big crests you can see, the first one of those is at waypoint 3 and is a big jump. Waypoint 4 is described as a big drop. Then you've got this long sweeping left-hand area leading us up to waypoint number 10, which is the entrance to the Continental Traction Challenge. Now that is 2 points for the fastest pair of drivers. So you have to take into account both the male and the female driver's performance through that section, and it ends round at gate number 16. But that, Jenny, goes right through to the final, and what the drivers are saying is track conditions are going to change. Sometimes it can't be beaten after Q1 because the track just gets too rough.
And if you look at the end of this as well, there are some real tricks out there, and that little ridge going into the finish line, that could catch a few people out. So it's going to need to be clean racing, and what do we not have a good reputation for in this championship? I mean,
well,
it's good racing.
We're green, as in clean, but,
yes.
but yeah, we're not clean. We've got Christine GZ is down on site, who is the championship driver, female championship driver. Christine, can you hear us? How's it going out there in Saudi Arabia?
Hey guys, how are you? Yeah, I can hear you perfectly. All great here. Good weather. It's been nice and warm, as usual, 40 degrees. Okay.
And can you tell us any of the tricks about the track? Obviously, you've been around it and had a look. What are your thoughts? Are there any places which stand out for you for a hyperdrive or potential passing opportunities?
I mean, we built the track pretty much so they could like have fun, let's say, at the beginnings. We opened up also waypoint 2 yesterday night just to make it more fun, because obviously there's 4 cars now, so I think it's good to see a little bit of fighting. A hyperdrive, I would definitely do it at waypoint 11, but I mean, I guess it's a little bit strategy, so it depends on the teams. I saw yesterday a few of them on the start line, some of them on the finish line. So it really, really depends on what the guys think is better. And if not, probably just as soon as they see that they can pass, they're just going to go for it.
So that's into the Continental Traction Challenge within the zones waypoints 10 to 16. You just saw there, the cars are on the grid. This is our new driver, Jania Akil. She's in JBXE. She'll take the second drive. Andreas Backerud is in the car now, alongside Clara Anderson for Sun Minerals, Kevin Hansen for Veloce, and Matthias Ekstrom for Neon McLaren. And those are your 4 cars taking to the grid. Who's got the best grid slot, Christina?
Ooh, I like the inside. I think it's better because I think McLaren did the right choice there.
Okay, let's go to the command center.
Attention all teams. Attention all teams.
Stand by for the start
of the Desert X-Prix. Qualifying round 1. Heat 1 is about to commence. Energize your systems and prepare to race.
Interesting, isn't it, seeing the drivers in their new colours. Now, thanks to Christine GZ on site. We will talk to GZ at some point during the course of these 2 races. I'm Andrew Coley, Jenny Gower here on comms. Great to have you back. Jenny, Laura obviously in the paddock. We're super excited. We hope you guys at home are super excited as well. 8 teams, new driver lineups, familiar faces moving to different colours. We're sure to get it wrong at some point on the run to turn 1. I mean, here's Matthias Ekstrom in Papaya with Cristina Gutierrez, the Season 2 female champion. They're such a strong lineup, aren't they?
Really strong. This looks like it's going to be a really challenging race, and we don't know what's going to happen. Which is the best grid slot? We don't know. We'll find out shortly, though.
Ekstrom reaches down towards the dash. Alongside him, Kevin Hansen look for Veloce. The yellow and black car, third place is Clara Anderson away from the line. It's a good start on the outside for Andreas Backrud. Now, though, you can see Noah hyperdrive's used by everybody running off the line. Ekstrom's got that inside line. Kevin Hansen comes around him fairly smooth through this long run up to the first corner. Backrud trying for the long round, the outside move. I think Ekstrom's going to see, though, and shut the door on him there. Andreas still trying to go all the way around into waypoint number 2. Look, this is the one they opened up just to make it a little bit more interesting. Kevin Hansen leads for Veloce into the first crest over 3. Oh, bigger jump by Backrud, and in the background by Clara Anderson for Sun Mini Mill Racing as well. So here we go, here's the big drop off 4. So you guys are seeing the course at the same time we're seeing this for the very first time. Lots of elevation change and a great start.
Yeah, Hansen taking the lead at the moment. Then behind them, the Neon McLaren team trying to make up that little bit of distance. JBXC in 3rd and 4th, the Sun team with Anderson at the wheel. Look at them, quite even, aren't they, matched?
Interestingly, Jenny, it looks like Sun Mini Mill are the only team that didn't use the hyperdrive off the start. So Christine GC said, didn't she, she felt it could be used later in the lap. There are lots of wide open areas on this course. I can see tons of places where you might use it. As a general rule, the start is very popular, isn't it? Because you want to get that whole shot.
Yeah, I think so, and it makes sense as well. But as you heard from GC, around 10, 11, that could be a useful trick as well if you go into the Continental Traction Challenge. There are 2 points up for grabs in this section, and they will want to make the most of this. And you can already see the sand is kind of cloying at the cars and making it stick down.
Yeah, there's ruts are going to develop here. Very definitely, you're going to need to be careful not to pitch the car in and end up putting on his roof. Had a chat with Travis Pastrana yesterday. He was saying that it's slightly less power than he's used to, and that to get the most out of the car, because obviously everybody has the same car, you have to absolutely be on the limit everywhere if you want to set a good lap time. So, you know, he's having a lot of fun, saying it's going to be challenging out there.
Really good job. We'll go for one more lap.
So we're hearing a bit of radio chat, really good job, one more lap. Not sure who that's for, but nice to hear some of the stuff coming out of the Vodafone Command Centre. Drivers like various different things in their ears. You know, some people are very much, you know, Kimmy, leave me alone, I know what I'm doing. And other drivers like...
Were you like that?
Yeah. It was McLaren we were hearing from, so that was Ekstrom being spoken to. 3.37 seconds back. It's a great job by Kevin Hansen. Kevin and Molly Taylor, of course, one of the teams that's been maintained from last year. Now we're seeing the run up to waypoint 3 from a different angle. Look at the ruts in turn 2 already. So yeah, this track's going to change a lot. It really is full sand, isn't it?
It really is. And they were talking to them yesterday, going over those jumps. It's really blind. So you leap of faith, isn't it? Going over them and just plant it, know where you're going, and land, and then get yourself back to where you want to be.
Big sends from Clara Anderson in the background as she tries to chase down Andreas Backrud in front. The gap's only 8 seconds between these top 4. Yesterday, in free practice, we were seeing 3 or 4 cars within 2 to 3 seconds. Super close between them. So it's we're expecting a super tight season. This is really our first look at any kind of a form guide, isn't it?
Yeah, and Anderson trying to make up that gap to Backrud. She's still got her Anoa hyperdrive, but she hasn't used yet according to this timing screen. So there's still margin for her to catch up. You can see here Ekstrom in the 58 car.
What was interesting to me there,
4 times quicker than Backrud. Come on, keep it coming.
Okay, so that might be, I think that sounds like that's Anderson's radio. Yeah, so that's Anderson's radio saying she's catching up with Backrud. So you saw Ekstrom, you saw, was moving across to the smoother part of sand. He moved out far right-hand side on the run down to that turn to try to get to the smooth sand. You get better traction there and therefore better momentum, less bump. Again, look, runs the car out wide, now coming in, that's partly racing line. And then look at the ruts in the corners. That's an open corner and the ruts are pretty impressive. Look at the amount of steering input from Ekstrom just to keep the car on a straight line. Now Anderson used it.
Yeah, the Anoa hyperdrive enabled. She was just behind the car of JBXC, Andreas Backrud. And they've switched places. Well done to Clara Anderson. She is a master of managing the overtake, but she's lost out. I think JBXC just managed to catch her on the inside, so she's lost out, but can she do it again? This is going to be tight going into switch.
Good momentum here. Clara Anderson trying to close down the back of Andreas Backrud. Couldn't get closer, down to waypoint 19. She looks up the inside line. Now they're going to come into the switch zone, so wait for the drivers to be as late as possible on the brakes. Little squash on the brakes there before the jump, so they obviously knew that going too late there would cause problems. Anderson contact with Backrud, That's her first contact of the season, runs the 30-mile-an-hour sign over. She shouldn't get in trouble for that, to be fair. And into the switch for the first time this year.
Really interesting. Bakkerud just blocked her off and said, nope, you're not coming through here. Christine GZ is still with us, and this is the bit that they've been practicing, isn't it, Christine?
Yeah, we've got 35 seconds here to do driver change. As you can see, Kevin is getting out here, and Molly getting the insert in, because each one, of course, we're different heights, so we have to be sure to have everything comfortable, let's say, for the drive. And then you have to be careful because you have to have the radio in. You have to leave it in neutral. You cannot put D until they told you that the 45 seconds are over. So yesterday, for example, we had a few penalties because of that. Dania, for example, was her first time, so of course, you know, probably she just missed it out and she left the D on. So she was penalized like 20 seconds, I think.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, go, go.
So there's the countdown for Veloce. Very impressive first lap, wasn't it, by those two. To Kevin Hansen coming in with a 7.2 second lead over Matthias Ekström. So a little bit of dialing in to do. Jenny, we were looking yesterday at the ideal lap, and we could see that the ideal lap was a couple of seconds quicker than the drivers were going. And yes, you know, these are some of the best drivers in the world. The ideal lap, by the way, is the 4 best sectors added up. And we were talking, weren't we, about, yes, that's fine, but it might be that the 4 different sectors, 4 different car setups would work better in those sectors. I'll tell you what, though, whatever Eon Veloce Racing have done, that car is dialed, isn't it? For this to come in with a 7-second lead over McLaren is impressive on the first 2 laps of the season.
Oh, look at the air of that McLaren. It went quite to the side. Cristina Gutierrez, Dakar champion, managing to steer that back. But a lot of the rats out there are tripping up these drivers, even though they're the best, some of the best drivers in the world. There's still room for error.
Yeah, so this corner here, watch this. Taylor went up almost on 2 wheels. We saw the same there from Gutierrez. That is Timo Scheider coming through, and now Dania Akil at the back of the pack. So Scheider has got past the JBXE machine. I noticed Akil was struggling to get in the car, Jenny. Did you see? She was having to pull her knee in to climb in through the aperture in the car. So maybe a slightly slow switch time. We'll find out after the session if anybody was super slow.
I mean, she's got loads of off-road experience. She's coming into this. She was the first female to get a race license in motorcycle racing in
really?
Saudi. Yeah,
fantastic.
It's really good. She's as well, like Sands, has gone from 2 wheels to 4 wheels. So it'll be interesting to see how she gets on. Our first Saudi driver in the championship.
So Gutierrez having switched teams over the winter, I think that was probably one of the biggest pieces of driver news, wasn't it? She left X44 to go to McLaren. McLaren, in fact, having a full clean-out, weren't they, of their driver lineup? Changed both drivers, which is quite a bold move.
And they've gone for 2 of the best.
They have.
They haven't messed around. They want the championship. They've gone out and bought in, a bit like Chelsea in the old days in football. And they've gone, who's the best people that we can have? Wait, we think these are the 2 best. Let's get them in and let's set them to task and get McLaren to winning. So
the championship, you know, in the last 3 seasons has been fought between RXR and X44. So you've got the choice of 3 females there, haven't you? Molly Taylor and Arlen Kotlinski for RXR. Taylor was already signed by Veloce. Arlen Kotlinski was staying with RXR. Gutierrez has been in all 3 of those title fights, 1 season 2. And then you look at Ekström, you know, 2016 World Rallycross champion, double DTM champion, nearly won the Dakar this year. He's just the master of multi-serves. He's won his Classic Rally Sweden, which is going on this weekend in WRC. He's such a great all-rounder. Nearly won the title last year. So yeah, for me, a very, very strong driver pairing. But at the minute, it's Veloce leading 6.7. Molly Taylor is maintaining that gap that her teammate Kevin Hansen built on the first couple of laps over Gutierrez. No need to take massive risks in this session.
Oh, come on. There's always a need to take massive risks.
We did discuss, Jenny, there are 3 spare cars this year rather than 1. So, I mean, you know, they might as well get a bit sendy. And it is the last year we need these cars with the exciting move to Extreme H next year. So, but yeah, no one wants to make a mistake very early. I think this waypoint here is very tricky. Drivers are already starting to take it a bit wider to avoid the ruts.
5.4 seconds.
That's the McLaren team radio to Christina. Car 5 under investigation for that switch zone infringement. So that's the car of Veloce. I don't know what that's about. We'll have to get clarification, but that's race control letting us know that they are under investigation. That's the lead. The lead is down to 6 seconds between Veloce and McLaren, and if there's any penalty, that could be interesting.
Yeah, well, if it's a penalty for a switch zone infringement, Jenny, it's 15 seconds plus any time gained. So if they've left the switch zone only, that could be, I don't know what it is for speeding, I'd have to look it up, but either way, it's going to ditch them from the lead, which at the minute is 5.555. So Gutierrez is closing the gap down as you see Taylor run the car out wide, desperately looking for smooth sand again. Watch this, look, run the car straight across the exit. 5.08, the gap closes again. Now we're starting to see people using a hyperdrive, so that's Taylor responding to Gutierrez. This, look at it, it's a long uphill straight, perfect place for that extra 400 kilowatts of power.
Absolutely, and we're hearing the radio from Christine Gutierrez. She's just come back from Dakar. She knows these sands. She knows what to do with it. So she's feeling it and clawing back that little bit of a gap. It's under 5 seconds now, and you can see how wide Veloce are going, and they go around the waypoint 19. They've gone really wide there.
That's it then, so Veloce crossed the line first. They've got a gap of 10.53 sideways in the background for Gutierrez. Huge jump for Timo Scheider as well for Sun Mini Meal Racing. Good to see the brand new team finishing their first ever race. Dania Akil is still out there. Kevin Hansen looking concerned in the command centre, and we know that, of course, is because they're under investigation for a switch zone infringement. Now, sometimes, Jenny, those penalties have been overturned, haven't they? Because it can be that a misreading speed gun on the way in. The teams will present their GPS data if it's to do with speeding. If it's to do with leaving the switch early, pretty hard to argue it. Dania Akil crosses the line, the first ever Saudi Arabian competitor, and female at that, in this series. Brilliant to have her along. All 4 cars finished Q1, race 1. We're underway, season 4.
Certainly are. So the investigation continues with...
What was it?
Have a listen.
That's Luke Alfond in the background, the team owner. They're steering under minimum time. Kevin Hansen's got his cans on down there, and we're going to be able to have a chat with him, I'm assuming, any time now. Kevin, Andrew in London. Happy New Year. We understand you guys are under investigation for a switch zone infringement. Is it under time, Kevin? What do you know from your end?
No idea. I'm quite sure I parked in the box and all that, so I have no idea really. Could be under time, but yeah, no idea. Just like you guys.
Mega first lap, mate. My goodness me, coming in with 7 seconds over Matthias. I mean, obviously some of that's in the talent of the driver, but you guys look to have that machine dialed in. Molly looked comfortable in it out there as well, and the course looks tricky with some of the ruts.
It was really fun the first lap to be fresh track because it was so, you know, plain and smooth also. I could that was most fun lap of the weekend, you know, so much aggressive, so much push everywhere. You know, I really tried to put my lap down, and I think I put a really nice gap on Matthias. Started directly like that, so I think we got a 22.8 time-second penalty, which is unbelievable. So yeah, okay, we'll see. We had a great race. I had a great sectors, full purple. So yeah, a good run. But that penalty, I have no idea what it's about.
Yeah, we'll find out a little bit more as the time goes on, I'm sure. And understandably disappointing. But the performance out there, you have to take some comfort in that. You both look really comfortable in that car.
Yeah, for sure. Like, we feel great in the car. We had some setup change overnight, and I mean, I was very confident even when it started to get rutted. So that was really nice. Like, when you have a good run like that, and you pull a nice gap over someone like Matthias, you know, it's really, really cool. So really enjoyed it out there. My Eon Veloce Racing team has done a great job with the car, and we look forward to the rest of the day.
Well done, Kevin. Good start, mate. Unlucky with the penalty, and we look forward to seeing you guys send it later on. Get after it.
Cheers, we will do.
There we go, all smiles, Kevin Hansen. Great to speak to him in Saudi Arabia. Here is the decision. So what's it for? Race control decision. Time penalty switch zone infringement, but they're not saying what for. What have they done? That's what we want to know. Under
so
time,
they were under time, so
22.8
second time penalty for car number 5, which is the Veloce car. So we need to find out a little bit more, but they obviously have that 45 seconds they have to adhere to. They time it themselves, and they must have let go just a little bit before that, so 22.8 second time penalty drops them down to P3, so it ends with Neil McLaren in first place, then the Sun Mini Meal team in second, Ion Veloce in third, and fourth, JBXE. And you can see the results now, timings as well. Tough break, really tough break, and obviously Kevin had no idea.
No, disappointed obviously to go from P1 to P3. Remember, only the top 4 go through, so both qualifying sessions are absolutely crucial. So it is a winning start for the new pairing at Neon McLaren. Matthias Ekström and Cristina Gutierrez are the winners of Q1 Race 1.
Let's take a look at these highlights then. Off the start, good start for JBXE, Neon McLaren and Veloce team in the middle. Some Mini Meals just getting bogged down a little bit as they come up to the first waypoint flag, which is a hard right. Loads of different options there.
Yeah, just looking at this first crest, trying to analyse how much the track has changed during the course of it. You can see here, it was when you saw the drivers running so much wider. Later on in the race, here, look at this. Look how far out the McLaren goes to find smooth sand, and that gives you an idea of just how many varied lines. The course is wide. Obviously, as a driver, you're looking for the shortest point to point, plus using the racing line. So wide into the corner and tight out to get good exit speed. These straights are long, Jenny, so the exit speed is really important. And you can use that corner there like a banking up into the dunes, which is great. But the ruts, hearing Kevin say, look at there, look at the ruts here. You're on a knife edge as to digging the car in and rolling it over, and then it's interesting as well to see the drivers squashing some of the crests. So here we are. Look, that was so that might be. I think that sounds like up into the crest here. You're on board with Ekström.
Yeah, I think that was a lot of chat with Clara Anderson and them just trying to lead her through to get the overtake on JBXE before they came into the switch zone. It wasn't to be. Look at Baccarat just backing her up a little bit, but this is a switch zone infringement, so you can see Molly Taylor getting into the car, and that's where it went wrong for them. Trailing back to third place in the end. This is the McLaren switch, and that's Dania just struggling to get into the car, her first ever live switch zone practice, so that's a tricky one for her, but Veloce came out leading, and they did such a good job out there. You heard from Kevin Hansen.
Sorry, Jenny, to interrupt. We've just had the document come through. The driver switched from the neutral position into drive before the minimum driver switch. Now, okay, so this is why I was confused. We knew they hadn't gone early because we heard the countdown. So what they've done is they've been given the penalty, 7.8 seconds time gained, but that wasn't time gained. That's how early she's put the car into drive. So they've left the switch zone at 45 seconds, but because they put the car into drive 7.8 seconds before that, that's the penalty. That's why I was so confused, because we knew that it left 7.8 seconds early, because the penalty is 15 seconds plus the early time left. So that's the first time that's ever happened like that.
And that's interesting, because that's what Christine GZ told us before the race. She said the switch zone is difficult, you need to be in neutral, not drive, and they fell for that.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Yeah. So it's really what's really a shame for them is they didn't leave early, but they broke a technicality of the regulation. So Veloce demoted down to P3. Action off track. The Science Committee is made up of 5 scientists who each have specialist climate knowledge of a specific ecosystem.
They influence the direction of our legacy programs and use the championship to highlight the climate and ecological issues we all face.
I love the ocean. I kind of consider myself part ocean even. I'm here to document the ocean so that others can see it tomorrow, but also in future generations.
I was not really interested by science until I was confronted with ecology, and that was a discovery of the peace that nature brings to my soul.
When I went to the Amazon for the first time to visit the areas that I was studying, I started to realize that the most important thing was the landscape was changing so fast.
I grew up in a coastal city of South Africa, and it was an amazing place to grow up because the winds would shift almost on a daily basis.
When the Navy started sending submarines to the Arctic in the 1960s,
The first discovery, actually, of the thinning of the Arctic ice was my work from 2 successive submarine voyages. In Extreme E, it's really brilliant at getting hold of good scientists from different places that inspired with this idea of doing science along with racing in an ecologically viable way.
I was excited from the very first moment to be part of the scientific committee. It's innovative, it's connecting different worlds, and that's where we should go.
For years and years, as a climate scientist, we were spreading doom and gloom without solution to hand. And Extreme E for us has been an absolute breath of fresh air because it holds the solutions in its hands and it's spreading the word like we can't as climate scientists.
We're able to bring in our knowledge about a global issue and maybe global solutions, but then we're able to really pick the brains of the local experts and learn from them. We're capturing their voice.
Suddenly, people are realising how important climate change is to one's daily life, in fact, to the future of the planet.
Extreme E has opened a new door for action that extends beyond the laboratories. It is precisely the role of science to push the boundaries of the possible every day. And the prerequisite is that we should not give up.
Pretty incredible work, really, isn't it, to be honest?
Yeah, and I was catching up on the guys, all of the drivers, or some of the drivers anyway, went in to look at the turtles on the coral reef on Thursday.
Yes.
It looked beautiful.
I know, I was very jealous.
Yeah.
Very jealous indeed. It's unseasonably warm here, but yeah, it did look like fun. Right, Continental Traction Challenge. You heard about it in that first race. If you don't know what it is, you need to know a little bit more. Here you go, have a look at this.
The Continental Traction Challenge is a designated section of the course where the teams can earn critical championship points in each round of the series by setting the fastest time through the sector. True to Extreme E's gender-equal split in the driver lineups, the winner of the Continental Traction Challenge is the team with the fastest combined time of both male and female drivers. Drivers can post a time in any competitive session of the X-Prix, and the winning team will be awarded 2 championship points. With fierce competition in Extreme E's paddock for Season 4 and a total of 20 points up for grabs across the 10 races, the Continental Traction Challenge is critical to any team's title aspirations.
And based on the Continental Traction Challenge, that will be enough to put both our championship teams through to the grand final, and the championship will go down to the wire. I think that gives you a very good idea of how crucial those points can be. And of course, it's the tie-break as well to see whether or not you make the cut. Is that going to come into effect in Q2? You've just seen the first race in Q1. Veloce, of course, penalised, and that meant that McLaren got the win. Laura Winter is down there now with McLaren and Ekstrom and Gutierrez.
Gutierrez and a first win as well. Talk me through how that was from your point of view and what you saw of the Veloce switch zone infringement.
Yeah, I saw just in the finish when we came in the garage. Well, the race, it was nice for us. We tried to make a gap behind Timo, in my case, and I think we went in a good race. We finished in a good position for sure, and we are trying to find something in the car because we are still working on it, and it's the first time for everyone, and the most important thing is to get used to the car and the team as fast as possible.
Yeah, for sure. And also this terrain as well. How difficult is the sand out there? How difficult is this course?
It's difficult because each lap is different. In each lap you have different roads, different heights, different everything. So you need to adapt very fast to the track. And I think it's the most challenging track in the whole season last year.
You'll be starting for the next race in Q2 as well. What has Matthias been able to feed back to you in terms of grid position, in terms of how to take that start?
I think we need to check the start because, as I said, in each lap is different, so we need to check again the starting positions, and then we decide in which position I want to start, and we go for it.
Amazing stuff. Thanks so much, Christina. Well done this morning. Good luck for the rest of the day. Cheers.
So nice to hear a bit of insight, isn't it, from the racings as they come out of the cars, because you learn so much from them. They'll try not to give too much away, but I love looking at her smile. She just loves taking on this challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. She's a weapon, isn't she? That's just such a good result here already. I said a few weeks back in the Dakar, so I'm sure she's feeling very much home in Saudi Arabia, as what are we as a series. So here we go then. Another race to go in Q1.
The sun continuing to beam down this morning on an epic setting we have for round one, the Desert X-Prix here in Saudi Arabia. A few new faces, a few new teams, and a few new pairings as well. Fraser McConnell is one of them in different colours than X44 last season. How are you settling in here at Acciona Science?
No, feeling good. Really nice to be driving in red. You know, having Red Bull on the kit and Red Bull on the hat is such a huge milestone for me, and super grateful. And the team has been super nice. Carlos, Laia, everyone here is, you know, really detail-oriented, really willing to win and go that extra mile to make sure we can have a great result. And, you know, I'm just super grateful to be in this new seat. You know, Carlos and the whole team, they could have chosen so many other people to fill this role. So I'm going to do everything I can to make sure they realize they made the right choice.
Very quickly, you found the limit yesterday in practice, didn't you, off that jump? Just a little bit nose-heavy.
Yeah, you know, it's pushing the limits. We were able to top the timesheet, thankfully, even with that moment. So we know the limits of the jumps now. Car feels great. Laia and myself, we feel great, confident, and we're going to go out there and start the season strong.
Great stuff. All eyes on you guys. Good luck. Thank you very much indeed, Fraz. Well, from a new pairing to the only original pairing left within this championship, Timmy Hansen and Katie Munnings have been in the Andretti Autokilat seat since the very start of Extreme. I'm going to see if I can find now. Katie Munnings is here in the glorious sunshine. I was just saying, you two have been together from the very start, amidst plenty of changes here. How are you feeling ahead of this season, the two of you?
Oh, I'm so excited. It feels like a really good year. We've got brand new car, new livery, new colours. Me and Timmy, we're so stoked. We were saying that this morning, like, to have a brand new season, new slate. It's like first day of school. We were quick here yesterday in practice, so we're just feeling like, you know, anything's possible today. So we're going to give it everything.
I love that. Anything is possible, and you'll be starting as well. So interesting, exciting. Thank you very much, Katie. Best of luck to you. Well, here we go then. Our second race of the morning coming up right now.
Yeah, it's time to go racing, isn't it? Again, qualifying round one, heat 2. 4 cars take to the starting grid. You can see them lining up there. Pretty windy down there as well, really gusty at times, so they'll have that to deal with as well.
That's all good, though, isn't it? The wind will help to clear the dust a little bit. Not that we've seen too much of that. We're going to head down to one of our new drivers in Extreme E. In the command centre, we are joined by Travis Pastrana. Travis, welcome to Extreme E. Electric Motorsports not new for you with your Nitrocross background, but this kind of track and the Odyssey 21 are new. So how's it been, mate? Bit of a baptism of fire?
Great to hear your voice, Corley. Yeah, it's been absolutely awesome, man. I tell you, these cars, they are a little top heavy. They tend to bicycle, but I've made a career on 2 wheels. Gray Ledbetter started on dirt bikes as well. She's been on 2 wheels quite a bit, so we got to pick up some aggression, but definitely excited to be over here for Jimmy Johnson and Legacy MC to have some fun.
Great to have you along. Jenny Gow's here with me in London as well.
Hi, Travis. I love the energy. Is that going to be a standout of your team of Legacy Motor Club?
It's Jimmy Johnson's team for sure. He's doing the Daytona 500 this weekend. He'll be in, racing in my spot, but honored to be able to fill in a little bit, get Team USA basically over here on the world stage. Extreme E has always been something I've wanted to give a shot, and definitely excited to be out here. Got some friendly, or not friendly faces, but some great rivals that I've raced before with Timmy and Fraz going up against them, and Christopherson. We'll see how Gray does against him in the first heat.
Yeah, that would be excellent to see you all battling out there. What is your tactic going into this weekend? Do you know that yet?
Go like hell, don't flip.
Love it.
So, Travis, you're doing a couple of events. Jimmy is going to be taking over, is he, later on in the season?
Yeah, Jimmy's going to be coming back. I don't think he can make the first two with his NASCAR schedule, but he's really excited to get back to his roots and some off-road, have some fun, and the paddock here is just awesome. Everyone's really enjoying themselves, and it'll be interesting to see what Gray and the rest of the crew can do out there.
Brilliant. Good luck. Don't flip.
Yeah, thank you.
Travis Pastrana joining the series with Gray Ledbetter. Gray is a veteran off-roader as well, despite the fact she's only 19 years old. Gray did ARX back in 2018. She's been for a long, long time. So we've got a minute 30 to the start. So, yeah, really excited to see a brand new team on the grid, along with Sun Mini Meal, of course, and those driver switches.
I mean, he's doing the Jimmy Johnson's doing Daytona 500
I know,
this
it's
weekend,
wicked, isn't it?
Obviously, and
Yeah.
then he'll come in next time
So
we
good.
race and take this on. But yeah, we've got a really good lineup this year, and it's just a really good treat, I suppose, to have an all-American outfit of the car number 84, the Legacy Motor Club.
You got a brief glimpse there of Gray Ledbetter sitting in the car, waiting to go. Say 19 years old, races side-by-sides in Nitrocross at the minute. Prior to that, ARX2, that was America's Rallycross support category. So she knows how to start, Jenny. Crucially, Gray's not just an off-roader. She knows how to get her elbows out in turn one. Laya Sands so close to the title last year, just missed out. And now with her new teammate. And there, of course, is the oldest team in the paddock, if you like, not by age of drivers, but by the fact that the drivers have remained the same every season.
I was going to say, you're brave this morning, aren't you, saying they're the oldest team? There we go. The grid lineup is there for you. So on the far right of your screen, it's a Legacy MC team. On the far left, it's the Andretti Autoquilat team. So start is under 10 seconds away. This is Saudi Arabia, Heat 2, qualifying round 1. Let's get the Desert X-Prix started with this heat. Oh, and there's a delay.
I did wonder when the marshal walked across in front of the cars. That's always a good indicator, is that they're not. Literally, we got a number 1 appearing on the screen and a bloke in a white shirt walking across the grid. Yeah, do you know what? I reckon we'll be waiting.
Do you know what? That's so tough for Gray. She's just about to start her first qualifying heat in Extreme E, and they're doing, hold on, well, up the cortisol in your body flushes through, and you have to do it all over again. So you can see the lid, the door of the Andretti team is open. So I don't know if they had a problem. Are they on the mic to them? Can't see Ian. Ian Griffith is the team principal. But there's definitely some sort of issue, I think, with the Andretti car. So we'll wait and get the restart underway. But yeah, reigning champions in lane 2 at the moment. That's Johan Kristoffersen taking the lead. And then you can see already helmeted up, Michaela Arling-Kotolinsky. There she is. She was the champion last season, and you heard a little bit earlier on in the programme how happy the team were for her and how she did.
Should that just be one blue light anyway? I'm just looking at it now. Should that be switched on already?
So Katie there is on the radio to the team. They've got a tech, haven't they? I can see one blue light.
Okay, your V-Box is fine, that's working.
V-Box is fine. V-Box is the data collector in the car, which allows them to look back then at their GPS positions and throttle and brake and all the rest of it, to monitor their onboards. So maybe they didn't have a tech, Jenny. Maybe the delay was something else, and that's Katie just double-checking. So it might not be an issue for Andretti. It might just be that she's on the radio double-checking that everything's as expected. There's Gray Ledbetter just getting the sleep out of her eyes. We know that feeling. It's early. It's early in Saudi Arabia, to be fair. It's 9 AM and we've already got in Saudi and already one heat done, and that's because of the charge times on the cars, and that's why a lot of us are so excited about Extreme H. Because Extreme H is going to have a hydrogen fuel cell in the car and a smaller battery, the charge time will significantly reduce because you'll be able to fill the hydrogen fuel cell more quickly. So that's going to mean we'll be able to shake up the racing format for next year. There's all sorts of things can come in. It was good to hear a gag talking about the possibility of hydrogen combustion. Like electric's interesting, isn't it? Because at the minute that's the direction, but I think we all know we're desperately trying to reduce emissions everywhere. But likewise, is it the answer when people need to do long distances? It might be the answer in urban areas, but maybe not when you're doing longer distances. So hydrogen is going to open up so much new technology.
So we had a good view of race control. You can see the Andretti car doors are down though, so hopefully we're going to sign up shortly saying exactly when this race is going to start. But lights going on for the Sands and McConnell team. Need to get that right. So the Acciona Science team in lane 3, and there we go. The Don, the King, the 4 times winner of the Dakar. He had an amazing season this year in Dakar, and
what a legend.
Absolutely, and it was really nice to see his son there congratulating him at the end of the Dakar. It was nice scenes.
Carlos gives me hope, Jenny, because he's older than me and still doing really well in motorsport. I know it's a bit late to become a factory driver, but, you know, still the dream still exists in there.
As long as the dream still exists for you, that's fine. Right, let's get this underway. 20 seconds now until race starts. So you have Legacy MC, RXR, Acciona Science and Andretti all taking to the grid in this, the second heat. Qualifying round 1. We're going in racing in Saudi Arabia. The flags are fluttering. Who will get the fastest start? That's what we want to know. And they're off. It's the green light, and the fastest are Andretti. Legacy getting left behind a little bit. Everyone using their Renault Hyperdrive, but first off the line, it's Katie Munnings with a really nice start. She'll go round to the right. RXR going, wide and round and taking that wide line around the waypoint 1. They're just snaking out into the lead, but who will get this? Yes, it's RXR that get that, but you can see how much sand and the ruts are really starting to dig in now. So in the lead, it's Christopherson from Munnings, Sands, and Ledbetter at the back.
Yeah, great. Christopherson there. Munnings nearly held him off. She just needed to go a bit deeper on the brakes into turn 1. But Johan took a big risk, didn't he? Now, he will now want to gap everybody and give Michaela Arlen-Kotlinski the best possible lead he can. You saw everybody use the Renault Hyperdrive off the line, and that's a good example of how easy it is to take a flag down. So Laya Sands turned in. The car turned in a bit more than she thought because of the rut. She then has to turn out the corner again. So knock a flag down, it's a 10-second penalty straight away. She's looking to the inside of Katie Munnings. Look at the corrections on the exit now. She runs out to the flat section of the track there. You're on board with Gray Ledbetter in the background. That's for Legacy. So Legacy Motor Club at the back, trying to get closer to them. 6.1, only 3 seconds. Remember, Ledbetter hasn't done, 2 laps she's done in the car. She's up against here some of the drivers. Well, every one of these drivers in front of her has done every single round of Extreme E.
Yeah, and Laya Sands is literally trying to close that gap down from Katie Munnings. She's got so much experience in the sand, both on 4 and 2 wheels, but it's on 4 wheels that she's going to have to challenge. You can see the ruts going through this waypoint. A little jump, and Christopherson still out in the lead. They've chosen to go Christopherson first. There's a...
Hit your marks. Long gas, single brake.
So they're just saying hit your marks. They're talking there in terms of driving style, you know, keep it tidy effectively.
Bit of sand and dust out there, isn't there? Just making visibility a little bit more difficult for the drivers, but you can see how wide Christopherson goes, taking that wide turn through that waypoint to correct the starts of the next lap.
2.57 was his gap. I'm keen to see what it is at the next waypoint. He took a slightly wider line on the way in than Munnings did. 2.6. There's only a 10th in it. It's tricky on this track to see where there are many places you could make a bunch of time by taking risks. Your biggest risk here really is pitching it in too quick in the ruts and ending up putting the car on its roof. I think all the drivers are acutely aware of that. So if you can nick a 10th in each waypoint, obviously over the course of 20 waypoints, you're looking at a couple of seconds, but that's a whole lap, Jenny, and Christopherson's only 2.7 up the road. If you remember, Kevin Hansen came in with a 6-7 second lead at the end of his, but he did also say that the track was perfectly smooth on that first lap and he loved it. So it's really hard for the drivers. It's changing constantly.
Yeah, it's fascinating to hear the driver feedback and the teams telling the drivers, you've got this, you can do this. Little drips and drabs of information that can help them. But as we see Laya Sands, she's trying to close down on the Andretti car, and she's really struggling with the input of that. You can see how much correction she's having to do, how much steering she's having to go through the wheel at the moment just to keep control of that car. The sand is really rutting up already.
Of course, she's another driver with tons of Dakar experience, and Jenny, when it comes to the dunes, that helps massively. It really does. We're talking hours of experience. If you think they're going to do 2 laps here in sort of 4 or 5 minutes, and on a Dakar stage they'll be in the car for 5 or 6 hours, sometimes only in the dunes. So I think it was Clara Anderson who was saying it's only the 2nd time she's ever raced on sand. Whereas the likes of Gutierrez and Laya Sands, who's in the Acciona science machine now, have spent hours and hours on this surface. It makes a big difference.
Yeah, that gap now between Gustafsson and Munnings is up to 4.3 seconds, extending to 4.6 seconds. So they seem to have found their comfort zone. But Munnings in that car is trying to get that back. And you can see there's 4 seconds between the first 3 cars each. So, yeah, there's a kind of a consistent gap now emerging between the cars.
Yeah, it is. Oh, a moment there for Laya Sands. You just saw the car just get a little bit sideways. One little kick on the rear, and you get kicked from left to right down the straight. Gray Ledbetter in the background getting ahead around the Odyssey 21. Doesn't want to take too many silly risks. You don't want to, you know, say, Travis said to me, and he said earlier on, didn't he, what was it? Don't flip, have fun, don't flip. I mean, classic quote.
It's great having him in the championship as well.
It's
and
brilliant.
Having some new talent, some new teams coming in, it's really healthy for Extreme E and, as you say, Extreme H going through. Right, into the switch zone. No one wants to make a mistake like the Veloce team did and get penalised, so I think that was a big warning for everyone.
Yes, certainly. It was interesting, Jenny, just getting back to Extreme H, what you said. Of course, Carl Cox Motorsport not here this year, but already saying they will be back for Extreme H. So they're taking a sabbatical effectively and going to come back when we've got the new cars next year. So watch for Acciona Science here. This is up at waypoint number 1. 2 wheels.
Wow.
Oh, okay, so a big moment for Laya Sands, and we know a few people have been bicycling. That's what Travis was referring to. If you've never heard the term bicycling, it's when the car's up on 2 wheels and you're balancing it along. So, like there, but there, look at the steering input. Very, very quick to get the input into the left, and that's what you have to do. You've got to point the car away from the direction it wants to roll in and pull it back down with the steering input. Let's listen into this. Interesting. No feedback from Sands to, okay, Gray Ledbetter getting out. Travis Pastrana's got to get in. Travis has just had a knee replacement at Christmas. So the fact he's back, he did the Snowdrift Rally with Subaru Motorsport USA last weekend, so he's back in action.
Did you say the other day he has had more surgeries than anyone you know?
More surgeries. So Travis has had more major surgeries than years in his life. Which is, you know, the guy who's beaten himself up. If you're not familiar with him, he's a freestyle motocross legend, first person to pull off the double backflip, which now is quite commonplace in FMX, but you've got to remember that when he did it, it was absolutely groundbreaking. And he's still breaking ground with the craziness of some of his stunts. He really is a motorsport legend. Great to have him in the series.
Right, Pastrana looking down at his dashboard, going into drive from neutral out of the switch zone, but Kristoffersson has given Arlen Kotlinski a nice lead out there. It was about 6 seconds by the time they came into the switch.
2 wheels again for Arlen Kotlinski, so that first corner is causing a few problems already. Here comes Timmy Hansen, so Hansen is in now. Remember, it was interesting, the first race, Jenny, was 3 guys starting and 1 girl, wasn't it? This race, it was 3 girls and 1 guy. And the regulation's been changed this year. You have to have an equal number of starts for your male and female drivers. So that's, you can look at it however you want, either in the final or Q1. It doesn't matter, those drivers will do both. But during the course of the season, you can't just start your male driver in Q1 every time, which means they'll start in the final every time. And we have discussed this before, it's much more about what the driver is used to doing. So if you've got a driver who's happy taking starts, it doesn't matter which one you put in. But quite often the male drivers have done more car-to-car contact starts, and we do see some contact. We haven't seen any so far, but we do see some contact in Extreme E.
And I think it's really good for the championship to have made that move to... This gender equality is so important.
Well, season 2, if you remember, it was that way. They had to do equal starts, and then last year not the same way because we went down to 3 sessions. So now this year they brought the rule back in, and it's going to mean that you're going to see different tactics. There's also different rules now for the start. So they pick their grid slots for Q1 and for Q2. So if you're the first to pick in Q1, you will be the last to pick in Q2. And again, that's really important because last year what we found is if drivers had a rough draw in Q1 and were on the outside of the grid, they then get a bad result and they end up on the outside of the grid in Q2, and that's not going to be the case. So
yeah, I think that's quite an interesting point as well. Just mixing things up each season we come, and just to get the best out of these cars and the best out of the drivers and give you the best races possible. So that's good. You can see there, Arlen Kotlinski keeping that gap at 7 seconds.
Yeah,
Someone being told to push.
Same as you, Jenny. Yeah, 7.2 is Timmy Hansen closed by 2/10, but it's going 2/10 either way. Travis Pastrana is the same distance back that Gray Ledbetter brought the car in, 26. So he's doing well to match the pace of Fraser McConnell.
McConnell's dragging out there. He's loving life. He's gone really wide on that waypoint. And as you say, the waypoints are really wide now, aren't they?
They certainly are here. This is a very different style of course. Of course, that's one of the nice things about the desert is it really is a blank canvas. You know, you can go as wide as you like, make the turns wherever you want.
Like it. Right, this is the really rutted section as they go through waypoint 2 over the bump of 3. We're just getting our heads around this course as well. Hopefully you're enjoying it.
Timmy's just made quite big inroads. He's taken 1.4 off Arlen Kotlinski in those last couple of sectors. I don't think it's going to be enough to get him onto a bumper by the end of the run. This is the last lap, remember. But the gap's down to 5.8, and there you can see in the background the Andretti Autokilip machine is that little bit closer. Fraser McConnell still 11 seconds back, Pastrana still at 26. So the gap, the three male drivers are on very, very similar pace here, and Arlen Kotlinski's leading them home beautifully.
I tell you what, they've all got their Anoa hyperdrive still to use. A little bit loose from Fraser McConnell, but that's his driving style, isn't it? A little bit loose.
It is, and I think as well, just the conditions, Jenny. Look at this, 3 crests in a row, dropping down through a long rutted left-hander and then onto a straight. You're trying to carry the momentum as much as you possibly can.
Yeah, he's looking good out there, very focused. The switching team, I think, will be good for both him and Sands. She'll enjoy that more relaxed environment.
Fastest sector time for Travis Pastrana, who you're looking at now, sector 1, 33.4. So he's absolute, and that's of this session. Travis Pastrana, in his first time in an Extreme E car, goes quickest in sector 1. He's taken him no time at all to get his head around this car. Brilliant.
Veloce at the moment lead the way in the Continental Traction Challenge. That's both drivers feeding into that. We'll see where it actually stands when these have gone round. Just trying to pick out that team radio.
Here we go then, Arlen Kotlinski coming around to the finish for Rosberg X Racing. They won the title last year, and this is the perfect way to start this session. Remember, they get points for each of their finishing positions in Q1 and Q2, and that will put them through either to the grand final or the redemption race. Veloce were unlucky last time. They had an investigation into their switch zone and ended up losing out on the win. Not going to be so for RXR. So a brilliant start by Johan Kristoffersson. Past Munnings round the outside in turn 1. And Arlen Kotlinski got just a couple of corners to go to bring it home. There is the finish line. The reigning champions win Q2 race 1. Right behind them, Timmy Hansen for Andretti Autokilip. There comes Fraser McConnell, big air. I know they've stayed up in Jamaica because I got a phone call from Peter McConnell just before the start of this race saying, when are they going out? We're desperately trying to stay up. I think there might be a party going on in Jamaica. And hopefully there'll be a party going on at Legacy Motor Club as well, because Travis Pastrana has set a fastest sector time for them on his first outing in Extreme E.
Race. So just follow the other cars back to the garage, please.
There we go, love that. Nice simple instructions, follow them back. Fraser McConnell.
It's nice listening into their radio, just hearing a little bit of what they're being told.
Kind of weird line from Timmy on the outside, on the dry sand. That was a lot quicker than you. And then you got the purple in sector 3, so it's good for traction challenge.
So they're talking to McConnell there, saying about sector 3, but so they pointed out he was quickest in sector 3, but they also pointed out somewhere where Hansen had gone wide onto the smooth sand and was a lot quicker than you. So that's the team already analysing the footage to try and get the best out of their drivers and cars. Great stuff.
Right, let's go down to the Vodafone Business Command Centre. Johan Kristoffersson is there for RXR, and I think he's got a microphone in his hand, hopefully. Hi, how are you doing?
Hello, very good, well, thank you. And you? All good?
Very well, thank you. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite fun now when it's a bit mixed up between female and male drivers in the start. So, yeah, it turned out that I will drive against the females today. So, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. And yeah, it was quite tight in the start. I wasn't sure if I was going to able to get to waypoint 2 first, but just managed to do that. And then, yeah, the females are very fast. Difficult to open a gap, but I did my best.
And Johan, track conditions look pretty tricky out there. It seems to me if you want to gain any time, you've got to take risks in the ruts, which is kind of an edgy strategy to try and make a gap. I mean, what was the game plan?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that is, you know, if you use the ruts in the correct way, which maybe I'm not the best on, as I haven't done so much sand driving, but I try my best. And yeah, when you get it right, you can gain like half a second in one corner. But also, if you get it wrong, you know, you can lose the whole race, or you just get bumped wide and lose up to a second. So it's really, really tricky. But at the same time, you know, in my position, I had to make a small gap at least, so we were safe in the switch, even though we could have lost, you know, 1 or 2 seconds in the switch. It's always tricky. So, but once Michaela was out in front, I was confident that she will do a good job. And Timmy was really, really trying to catch her, but also gaining a lot of time in a few places. And then he also maybe tried a bit too hard and then lost on other places. So it's really tricky to catch up time.
Obviously, the start of a new championship. You're the reigning champion, but who's your biggest threat out there?
The ruts, I think.
The ruts?
Yeah, I get it, mate. I get it.
It's
mate,
so sneaky.
Johan Kristoffersen to the Dakar rally next year. You heard it here first. If we continue racing on sand, I reckon he'll be off to the Dakar in a side-by-side. He'll want the time on sand. I know he will.
Preparation is key.
Johan, thanks, mate. Good luck for the rest of the day.
Thank you very much. See you.
Great stuff. Who's your biggest rival? The ruts. It's true though, Jenny, isn't it? It's accurate. He's analysing it from his point of view. What can I control? I can control what we do, but the ruts we can get an unlucky break on it. I love the fact that even in an interview, it's like that's the way. Katie Munnings here. Look how wide Johan ran it onto the smooth sand, trying to find exit speed, but ended up going around the outside of Katie with a deep braking move.
Let's take a look at the results then. Legacy M3 in 4th place, their first time in a heat. Axiona Science in 3rd, 2nd with Andretti Altequila, and RXR winning again. Starting with the way that they'd like to carry on with a time of 11:04 for RXR. So what will that throw up as we go through this event? Who knows, but it's looking good out there.
Right, take a look back at some of the action from that last one. So on the inside here, off the line, Munnings, look at it, it was a rocket of a start, it really was. At this point, Kristoffersen's in P3. So where does he make up the time? In the first waypoint, he's still alongside the Axiona Science machine, just pitches it in long. Oh, look at that. With the dust, we just didn't see how close Laya Sands came to going over. And then here, Kristoffersen took a risk, went in deep, let the car run wide. You know, in terms of lap time, wouldn't have worked, but in terms of getting the car in front, yes, of course it worked. You know, compromise the exit, who cares? There it is from on board Laya Sands. Wow, that really, oh.
We couldn't even see that when she was doing the start from the shot we had, but that was such a save.
Gritted, do you see the gritted teeth, Jenny? Like full gritted teeth when you know you've had that moment. It's like, no, 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 yes, 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 back on 4. So she held on to it. Laya Sands, we know how far she is now. For me, Laya was the most improved driver last season. She absolutely became a front-running driver. That's what's so great to say. We talked a bit about looking at the times in free practice. It really is very close between at least 5 of these teams. And bearing in mind that the other 3, JBXC have had a few struggles, and obviously new driver, you've got 2 new teams. They will close that gap down, but 5 teams very close together at the top is going to make for an extremely exciting year.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what the new circuits will give us, and different surfaces. And this is definitely sand. Yeah. But as we go through the season, you get different challenges, different surfaces, and people have specialist surfaces, don't they?
Do.
They
yeah, well,
excel,
like we said about Johan and Clara, for instance, haven't done much on sand. Fraz hasn't done much on sand. Any driver who's done the Dakar's done tons of it. So actually, I'm just thinking Ekstrom, Gutierrez, Laya Sands, and probably our new Saudi driver, all drivers with more sand experience than the others.
Yeah, an interesting time for the teams as well, as they see the first footage from the heats, and they'll pick up further information every time a car goes out. They'll look what is happening, and this is the moment I think that they were referring to, with Andretti managing to get a lot of speed going around the outside. And if that's been identified as something that you can pick up speed by doing, you'll see them all do it next time.
Shout out to RXR, by the way. I love the livery, Jenny.
I love all the liveries this year. They're really nice. I like the Legacy Motor Club. I like
yes,
the black.
Yeah, it looks cool, doesn't it?
Looks
the
very
black
cool.
And gold looks very cool.
yeah, obviously the people working in the decal have done a good job of making season 4 amazing.
There is that Legacy Motor Club machine. Fantastic. And Pastrana and Ledbetter with us this weekend. RXR, though, winning that first session. Great job by them.
Well, we've got a lot going on this championship, but we've also got Grid Play. It's back, yay! So, how can you get involved with it all? Am I a little bit excited?
The drivers have mixed opinions about it, but basically, yes, people are voting for their favourite teams, and that will then affect the the grid lineup in the final later today. In the build-up to the final in each Extreme X-Prix, fans can show their support and vote for their favourite teams and drivers through Grid Play. The voting takes place via the Extreme website. The team that collects the most votes gets first pick on their grid position in the grand final and will have the opportunity to massively influence the start of the race. But there is a twist. The teams that do not reach the grand final can donate their votes to any other team. With a strong start being key to a good X-Prix result in Extreme, Grid Play could make or break a team's chances of success. Which team will emerge as firm fan favourites?
Right, I've managed to calm down about Grid Play.
Yeah,
we're
Jenny,
okay. However, we now have an
that.
interview with Travis Pastrana, so I'll get myself hyped up again. He'll get himself hyped up, and hopefully Laura Winter is down there and she can control us all. Herding sheep, isn't it?
Laura with Travis, here we go.
Well, Travis Pastrana, this is somewhat of a baptism of fire, isn't it, for you? How was that first race? Certainly looking quick through Sector 1.
Well, I tell you what, Gray got such a great jump off the start. We got to figure out, I don't know where the push to pass or the boost didn't seem to work on that first straight, and then definitely fell off the pace a bit more. I've seen Gray drive in Nitrocross in the US. I know she has the ability to be up there running with the other drivers, so disappointing to get in where we did, and I think I might even messed up and probably got us a time penalty and taken off a little too soon. I don't know if it did or not, but it was close. I want to get out there. I want to battle. Next time I start first, we'll be aggressive. We forgot the drive like hell part, but at least that's Jimmy Johnson's machine is still in really good condition, and we're ready to send it. We didn't come all this way to have that happen, so we'll be all right.
Getting a car back in one piece is part of the game here in XC. Where do you think more time can be had out there, both in the car setup and in just taking the risks on the ruts?
Yeah, it's definitely, these cars, everyone's about the same speed until you start taking that little bit of extra risk, and they don't have a lot of power to pull you out of bad situations. So, watching on TV, you're always like, oh, why are they crashing? But that's how you have to drive, and definitely when we're in the mix, starting out next time and hopefully getting up near the front or in the front, we're going to be a lot more two wheels, a lot more aggression, and we'll be going a lot more like hell. So we'll see what happens.
Oh, we'll be watching. Thank you very much, Travis. Cheers. Well done. Good luck for the rest of the day.
Full risk coming from Travis Pastrana and Gray Ledbetter later on today. I love it. Great to have them along, I say. So fantastic start to a new season. Here is your first dream team of the year.
And interestingly, we've just had news that Veloce has had their time penalty rescinded, so they go back to first place in the first heat. So good news for them. And you can see Kevin Hansen and Cristina Gutierrez would be your dream team if they got the fastest female and the fastest male together.
Yeah, they would indeed. So interesting about the penalty. I thought it was slightly odd. They're so used to what they do. They're highly unlikely to just press that button at the wrong moment, aren't they? So what they will have done there is they'll have presented their onboard footage and their data and gone, we did not press the button early, we waited for 45. For whatever reason, it might be the signal between the car and race control, something spurious, but the penalty's gone. Good news for Veloce. So Veloce and RXR win the first two races of the year, Q1.
And
Veloce had a great season. Yeah, they were nearly there last year, but not quite. We're going to head down to Laura Winter in the paddock and see where she is.
Timmy, alongside me, P2 in that one. How did you see that, and how's the course looking out there? How is it evolving?
Yeah, P2 is a good result. Like, if you get P2 both times, you're through to the final. The course was difficult. They watered this morning, so that made the sand wet. And like when you're on the beach, it's much easier to build a sand castle with wet sand than dry sand. So it felt like so loads of mounds out there, and it was hard to drive today. But yeah, I did my best. Katie did a good run, and P2 is a good result.
It's a great result. We'll see for the rest of qualifying and indeed later on. Thanks so much, Timmy. Well done.
Thank you.
So Timmy Hansen happy, but saying the conditions are quite tricky thanks to a little bit of dampness out on the course, which is what we do to make the visibility a bit better. Building sandcastles, that's an interesting way of describing big ruts and big risk.
Just makes me want a holiday, to be totally honest. So that is the first session of the new Extreme E Championship Season 4 done. And you can see it's going to be thrilling as we keep on going, as the track keeps evolving and the ruts get deeper.
Confirmation at the bottom of your screen that the penalty is removed for Veloce. There was some two-wheel action for them as well. Big jumps, big crests, great action. No cars binned in this first session either.
That's
so
nice.
It's fantastic to be back for Season 4. As Jenny Gale said, Jenny, great to have you back. Laura on site as well. I'm Andrew Coley. Stay with us later on today. We'll have the final of Round 1, 2024, Season 4.
Drive now.